Song of the Conscripts. Song of the Conscripts is a narrative poem written by Du Fu in the Tang Dynasty. There are two viewpoints on the background of the creation of this poem. One is that it was written because Emperor Xuanzong of Tang led troops to fight against Tibet, while the other believes it was written because Emperor Xuanzong led a military campaign against the kingdom of Nanzhao in the 10th year of the Tianbao period, 751 AD. The poet used the form of yuefu folk songs to profoundly reflect the great disasters caused by frequent wars to the people. Song of the Conscripts, Du Fu. The conscripts march with bow and arrows at the waist. Their fathers, mothers, wives, and children come in haste to see them off. The bridge is shrouded in dust they've raised. They clutch at their coats, stamp their feet, and bar the way. Their grief cries loud and strikes the cloud straight away. An onlooker by roadside asks an enrollee, "The conscription is frequent," only answers he. "Some went north at 15 to guard the river shore, and were sent west to till the land at 40. The elder bound their young heads when they went away. Just to home they're sent to the frontier, though their heads grey. The field on borderland becomes a sea of blood. The emperor's greed for land is still at high flood. Have you not heard? 200 districts east of the Hua mountain lie, where briars and brambles grow in villages far and nigh. Although the stout women can wield the plough and the hoe, thorns and weeds in the east, as in the west, overgrow. The enemy are used to hard and stubborn fight. Our men are driven just like dogs or fowls in flight. You are kind to ask me, to complain I'm not free in winter of this year. Conscription goes on here. The magistrates for taxes press. How can we pay them in distress? If we had known sons bring no joy, we would have preferred girl to boy. A daughter can be wed to a neighbor, alas, a son can only be buried under the grass. Have you not seen on board the screen bleached bones since olden days unburied on the plain? The old ghosts weep and cry, while the new ghosts complain. The air is loud with screech and scream in glooming rain. The poem begins with a description of a heart-wrenching farewell, unveiling a vivid picture. Starting from an objective description of the sudden event, the poet used a powerful brushstroke, like blowing gust or rushing tides, to present a thrilling and heart-rending farewell picture. Horse-drawn vehicles, crowds of people, and dust-filled surroundings, cries of despair echoing throughout the land and reaching the sky. Through the portrayal of the tragic scenes of separation and death from both an auditory and visual perspective, the poem concentrates on the tragedy of thousands of families torn apart. From the line, "An onlooker by roadside asks an enrollee," onwards, the poem conveys the grievances of conscriptions, offering an heart-breaking account. Through the use of questioning, the poem allows conscriptions to directly accuse the calamities brought about by the war to the people. The line, "The conscription is frequent," directly points out the root causes of family separation, the innocent sacrifice of the people, and the devastation of the nation's fields. Finally, The poem directly targets the supreme ruler, Emperor Wu, fully expressing the poet's uncontrollable anger and indignation. From "you are kind to ask me" to "the air is loud with screech and scream" at the end, the poet once again reveals disasters brought about by the war through the use of question and answer format. Through the narration of the people involved, the poet reveals the dual calamities caused by the ruler's obsession with building up the army and imposing heavy taxes. Then, the poet wrote in an indignant tone, "It is better to have daughters than sons," and described the gloomy and cold scene of an Asian battlefield by the Qinghai Lake in a more tone which was chilling. All of these are the evil consequences caused by the ruler's greed for land is still at high flood. Fluctuating and echoing narrative sequence, it is well organized with orderly changes and clever use of transitional sentences and customary phrases, creating a reverberating and impactful artistic effect.